Hello everyone, my name is Zach and welcome to another welcome to another Rise stream. We're gonna be analyzing some aspect of my recently published book, Dim Shadow of Spade. Today we're gonna be analyzing the characters of I'm trying to find it. We're gonna be analyzing the characters of the Horsemen of War and Jacob Lowe, who are two leaders within Purgatory that you actually meet in part 2 of the book. Just give me 1 second while I pull up my stream, make sure everything's working properly. Okay, great. So there is something I wanted to discuss. This actually, I think this is the first time. I'm trying to think. I think this is the first time that the topic of dual symbolism comes up. This is a thing that I coined, a term that I coined in my time of grad school. It's something that I like to do a lot. This was actually seen before, but I haven't really addressed it because I kind of handled, the bios for the main antagonist Spade and the main character of Alec Lowe separately. But Alec Lowe and Spade would have also been an example of a dual symbolism where they're two different people that pursue their dreams in different ways. One thing that I want to say is in relation to this video, even though War and Jacob Lowe were both leaders of Purgatory, War leads the demons of Purgatory, and Jacob, quote unquote, leads the fallen angels of Purgatory. They kind of handle leadership in a different way. Before we get too far into this, I do want to point out that just a little bit of a fact with those two characters. First and foremost, what the fuck did I just do? I did something. I don't want to. Okay, I don't want to. I was trying to control F to search for something, and I kind of lost my thing. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Come back to this. One thing I wanted to point out is the Horseman of War is one of 4 characters that were referenced in this book. All 4 of the 4 horsemen were referenced, but only one was seen in this book. The 4 horsemen are part of an ancient and almost extinct race of demons that are referred to as the Old Gods. War is okay, I guess that didn't work. War is in it. Every single old god has a unique power that's kind of separate to their innate like power of darkness that all demons control. Let's try doing it this way. War. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Okay. War has the ability to inspire when he is in in an environment. War is actually capable of kind of bringing others around him to be inspired to fight on his behalf. It's been said he genuinely believes that he was the reason why humanity often just kind of breaks out into armed conflict and wars in our world today. And for all you know, he could be right. He has been around for about as long as humanity has been around on Earth and the modern sense of humanity. Like probably he's been around for at least like 10,000 years, I would guesstimate. I can't remember the timeline of when I haven't really established a timeline of when the old gods were kind of in power. But he's been around for ages. It's been around for a long, long time, and he genuinely believes that because of him, we have bloody wars like the first 2 world wars, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the 100 Years' War, like all these different wars in history, he genuinely believes those were because of him. War is someone that is always thinking about the next encounter. You actually see him many times in this book, often kind of like fantasizing about like future conflicts and what he would do in certain scenarios. These fantasies are not based in fiction, but they are based in reality. He doesn't like give himself any sort of unrealistic advantage. He often kind of puts himself in a weak position of weakness in order for him to try and figure out what he could do in order to overcome that weakness. War actually does something that I can do in real life. I often just kind of focus on I kind of like fantasize a lot, imagine like different stories for different series, and I often fantasize in relation to my novel project. War is kind of the same way. In some instances, War is a lot similar to me. He's kind of has like some traits that I kind of value as an adult and as a writer. War fantasizes about any and all conflicts that he could participate in, and he often thinks about solutions to overcoming those conflicts. War is someone that has gained the respect and trust of every single demon in purgatory. And he is the one that is constantly egging them on. That's constantly stoking the flames of violence, or whatever the term is. He is someone that doesn't want the war to end. He wants the war to continue and just go on forever, because in his eyes and in this war is his idea of heaven, is his idea of paradise. On the flip side, Jacob Lowe is someone that actually doesn't really command the respect of every single Hyde agent, a fallen Hyde agent within Purgatory. I think I mentioned this before, that Purgatory is a place where both demons and angels go to when they die. And while War has gathered the respect and trust of every single demonic entity within Purgatory, Jacob Lowe has only gathered like maybe like a couple hundred people that are willing to follow him, and there's thousands and thousands within Purgatory that have not allied with him, that are just kind of more independent. Jacob, despite him winning, kind of getting the upper hand for a bit against the Horsemen of War, he is someone that doesn't really command the respect of the other other Hyde agents, and this is something that is kind of like important within the theme of within the concept of dual symbolism that I'm kind of coined within the series, as though War and Jacob Lowe are both leaders. They're both leaders of a different type. War is someone that already has the respect of everyone that follows him, while Jacob Lowe struggles to gain respect. And in fact, might be a bit of a spoiler warning, but Jacob will have to kind of come to terms with that and try and find a different solution towards achieving his dream that doesn't involve him being within Purgatory. And there's something that I kind of realized in book 2 that I'm working on right now. Jacob Lowe is someone that is a veteran of the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War is an environment that kind of focuses entirely on guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla warfare kind of utilizes a lot of surprise attacks. If I can just go ahead and pull up guerrilla warfare definition. Guerrilla warfare is a form of unconventional little war guerrilla fought by small mobile groups of irregular combatants against larger conventional military forces. Using stealth, surprise, and local terrain knowledge, they utilize hit-and-run tactics, sabotage, ambushes, and raids to exhaust the enemy's resources and morale over time. So this is, by definition, exactly what the conflict with Purgatory is. They are essentially two a small mobile groups of irregular combatants, being the demons. They're really only organized by one leader, being War, and they're going up against a larger conventional military force, being the Hyde Agency. This is exactly what the war between demons between with the war in purgatory is like. The thing is about purgatory with Jacob Lowe is because he is a Vietnam War veteran, he is familiar with this type of fighting, which kind of gives him the advantage when within purgatory because war utilizes the tactics presented in guerrilla warfare, but he uses it from like, for example, in American history, the Americans fought against, I think, the Viet Cong in the Vietnam War, and the Viet Cong were the small militia group that were kind of fighting, doing like surprise tactics against the U.S. military. Um, Jacob was on the other side of that. He was fighting the Viet Cong, so he kind of got used to the whole surprise tactics that actually war utilizes in every single attack he leads against Jacob Lowe and his forces. Jacob Lowe, because of experience in the Vietnam War, actually gains an advantage within every encounter he went up against with War and the Demons of Purgatory, because he kind of got used to the type of surprise attack conflict, and he is actually able to kind of more so predict whenever an attack is going to come. It's something that this is like a skill he kind of developed over time with when he was in the Vietnam, and this is something that he kind of evolved during this time in Purgatory. Jacob Lowe was essentially a war hero. He was someone that saved three American POWs, prisoners of war, and that were captured by the Viet Cong. And because of that, he was given a Medal of Honor. Jacob Lowe is someone that desires to be to kind of end the conflict within Purgatory and to try and like bring peace between both sides. But he knows that so long as war is in charge, he will never achieve his dream. But he still wants to try. He still wants to try and bring peace to Purgatory. Eventually, though, he will create a sort of a peace where there's going to be less aggression on both sides, but there's still going to be some conflict. There's never going to be a permanent ceasefire within Purgatory, at least not in the context of my main series, but there will be a sort of a road to peace where there's going to be less frequent attacks, less frequent bloodshed. And that really can only happen when war is no longer in charge, egging on the aggression within the demons, and so long as the hide agents within Purgatory are not unified. The thing is, in relation, because those two leaders are kind of like function very differently. War commands respect, Jacob doesn't. It is kind of like a representation of the two different types of leadership that is found within War and Jacob Lowe. This is kind of what I mean by it being an example of dual symbolism. They're two different characters that are similar but serve a different narrative purpose. Alec Lowe, the main protagonist of this story, he is motivated by the desire of rescuing Jacob Lowe from his fate and reuniting his broken family. Jacob Lowe is someone that by the end of the story was not really was kind of like hesitant about like leaving his fight in Purgatory, but over time, like he will develop a desire to kind of return to his family, return to the land of the living, so to speak. Jacob Lowe will be a very important character, and he will get some significant development in book 2. And actually, by the end of the first trilogy, there will be some developments in place that kind of changes how things work within Purgatory. War is someone that will also continue to get development as the series progresses, but he probably won't be making like a major appearance, a major role in the story until the second trilogy, when he will kind of be brought back. Jacob, Purgatory, once again, it's kind of like Jacob kind of views it as hell, and in some ways it is. it's not exactly a place that is safe for either side. But what's interesting about purgatory is, I think I mentioned this in a previous analysis video. Purgatory gives you like a permanent sense of it gives you a permanent sense of fight or flight mode. You're often like getting this feeling deep within you that tells you to run away, to that you're gonna get attacked and all this kind of stuff. In the same way as that deers can figure out like whenever they're gonna get attacked by a predator, and they can just run away and to safety. That type of feeling where people are just constantly like in fight or flight mode is kind of what kind of alerts people to the possibility of them being attacked by enemy forces. And both Jacob and War kind of views his feelings differently. War sees it as a blessing and as it kind of helps him improve in combat, while Jacob just kind of views it as a curse. And it's just kind of interesting, like just how these two characters are similar in one sense, but also completely different. Jacob Lowe will actually have a very important role in the story as the series progresses. But for right now, he and War are both two different types of leaders within Purgatory that kind of have different motivations. If there's one other thing that I will say, it's the relationship between Jacob and War is very unique. War is someone that is very competitive, and he has only killed Jacob once when Jacob first arrived in Purgatory. But Jacob has killed him like maybe like 20 or something times. He has a series of cross-shaped scars on his right arm, symbolize every single death, and he has one tally mark on his left arm, or vice versa, to symbolize his one victory. War will not stop attacking Jacob Lowe until he has killed him more times than Jacob has killed War. And that sort of competition between War and Jacob Lowe is kind of also what drives the conflict forward. War will not relent until he proves to Jacob that he is better than him, and that's kind of like the other major interesting thing about those two relationships. They're adversaries, but they're also competitive. Jacob actually has no interest in pursuing the competition, and is only acting to defend himself, while War actively seeks to prove that he is better and stronger than Jacob Lowe, but he, in the course of this book, has been struggling. Jacob Lowe has gotten the upper hand of him like many times in this story, but I'm still have a plan about how to like kind of ease the conflict as time progresses. That's actually gonna do it for today. I think I'm kind of talked about all I wanted to talk about for right now. The one thing that I wanted to say was the next week's I'm actually gonna go ahead and go here. Snooze. Next Wednesdays, trying to think. Next Wednesday's writers analysis stream will be analyzing what have I done? It's something I need to figure out. There's a lot of topics I still need to talk about, but I don't know what I've done and what I haven't done. The Zara and Fox, Spade, Theme of Legacy, Purgatory, Demon Hell, The Hyde Agency was God, Alec Lowe, Heaven. Okay. I could talk about the overarching theme of dreams, of having and pursuing dreams. So that's probably what I'm going to be talking about next week on Wednesday. So next week on Wednesday from 1 p.m. to an undetermined amount of time, I'm going to be hosting a Writers Analysis stream where I'm going to be analyzing the theme of dreams. That is important for throughout the first trilogy. This is a theme that has actually kind of changed. Didn't really change that much, but does kind of have like an interesting inspiration behind that story. Next Wednesday is I'm gonna talk about a little bit of the background, a little bit about the background history within the development of my story and how kind of one event in my life just kind of changed my life entirely, and how the introduction of one series ended up leading to the development of this my novel project and the development of this this theme of dreams. So we're going to be kind of going to some serious topic that is important to understanding what my story is about. So Wednesday's Rise Not stream, we're going to be analyzing the theme of dreams and the importance of dreams. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to be hosting a writer's workshop stream where from 1 p.m. to 5 Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to be working on my next book. I really want to start like streaming for longer instead of writing 1 or 2 sections a day, because I think I'm kind of at risk of not finishing this book by the time I want to finish it. So we're going to be spending more time working on the book as time progresses in future streams. I just haven't really been wanting to just kind of sit down and write for longer periods of time, but that's going to change soon. Friday's stream, I'm going to be hosting Friday's stream, going to be streaming Far Cry 4 for 1% completion on from 1 p.m. to 5 Pacific Standard Time. Saturday, I'm going to be live streaming Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered for 100% completion from 1 p.m. to 5 Pacific Standard Time. And Sundays, going to be hosting a Saints Row 2 for 100% completion from 1 p.m. to 5 Pacific Standard Time. That's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.